listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, my Pelicans forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jump where the dang late, punch a train. Swish, post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You can double, you can press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican. Fly Pelican, and I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.
First half, really, I just didn't feel our sense of urgency in the first half. Just some silly mistakes, a little sloppy. I thought we got better in the second half. I'll go back and watch the tape, but I thought our competitive juices were going in the second half. But we got to have that sense of urgency to start the game and give them credit. They, a really good team. They share the ball. They play with pace and force. They're getting it up quickly, and we just got to be better.
It's not about making excuses, but when you, as a coach, how much more difficult is it when you haven't had a lineup that's played more than 7 games this year or 5 games?
Yeah.
We only have 2 that have played more than 5 games, and I think all the top 6 all have Brandon in them, so they're going to continue to beat low numbers right now. How difficult is that to try to continue to do things like this on the fly with groups that are still learning?
Yeah, it's definitely some challenges involved when we're shorthanded, and I think our guys feel that. They feel that the margin for error is super small. We got to take care of the ball. You got to make shots. You got to get stops and convert when we turn other teams over. Just 3 areas that we, didn't do necessarily a great job in tonight, but it's definitely some challenges when you're shuffling lineups and you're trying to get guys acclimated to playing with each other. But, it's just a part of what the adversity that we have to go through in the NBA. And it's also an opportunity for guys to step up and play some larger roles.
One of those guys, Brandon Wilson Jr. again, he's kind of settled into his bench role now. What are we going to see from his recent stretch?
I think his confidence is growing more and more as he progresses throughout the season. He's understanding his role. He started some games for us. Right now he's in the second unit, but he's getting solid minutes each and every game, and he's very confident in what he can do once he touches the floor.
And offensively tonight, it seemed like if you go back to that first half, were those the looks that you were trying to get? It seemed like it was the same looks maybe in the second. And obviously, we saw how things changed in the third quarter.
I thought we did get some good looks. I thought we missed them. We had some transition opportunities that we just didn't convert on. Some simple plays that we have to make for each other on both ends of the floor. And this is what it's like. It's going to be some challenges, but we got to continue to be up for the task each and every night. Thank you.
Man. There it is. Willie Green, man. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in an episode of the Pelican Postgame Report for all things Pelicans. Once again, the Pelicans, man, they lose another one. This is 4 straight now for the Pelicans. 4 straight losses by the Pelicans. And it's not a good thing when you see the Pels like this, not even competitive most of they can't put together full games, just like their counterpart, the New Orleans Saints. They can't put together full games either. And unfortunately, the one thing they do have in common is the fact that they both lost today. So they played the same day and they had the same result. Loss. All right, so big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Big Q, DC, and Lex chiming in momentarily. Big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Michael. Not having a system is boring. Yes, indeed, man. You're right, brother. It is boring, and Willie Green is just it's just more of the same from Willie Green. He really doesn't have anything to say. I don't know why they keep having these press conferences, because he gets up there and he says these things that have zero impact on the team. They have zero impact on you. If you are constantly hearing the same rhetoric about his team, and he coming out in these teams every game, no matter how they look, they don't have a full effort. They're defensively and offensively inept, right? The intelligence at many times is lacking on the court, just over and over again. Then he talks about the injuries. You have enough players. You have enough players back to win some games. Come on now. We got enough guys back to win some games. You don't have BI, you don't have Zion, you don't have Jordan, you don't have Jose, but you did get DeJounte, you did get CJ, you did get Herb. You did get some guys back, and you're supposed to have some effort. But once again, the Pelicans just show that they're a team that's just continue to flounder, and it is what it is. Outpaced by the Pacers 119-104. This is this episode of PPR. And we just heard from Willie Green, just regurgitating the same bullshit that we've heard for the entire season. The Pelicans are now a ghastly 5-22. They're on a 4-game slide. And like we said, it's still some games. Houston's up next, and they got a brutal remaining December schedule that could very well see the Pelicans go, 5 and almost 30. In order for you to go that far down, listen, to be down 10 games is one thing. When you get whoever you feel you need to get back to start winning, that's one thing. To be down by 20 games, who comes back from that? Who comes back from that? Who will then? How does a team? Let me ask the flock that. How do you come if there'll be a time in the near future, and I'm talking about before this year changes over to 25, there could possibly be a near future scenario where the Pelicans could be down by 20 games. I'm talking about like 5-20, like 5-25, like over the next 3 games. They can be 20 game. It's a 20 game gap between the wins and the losses. Who does that? How do you get back from something like that? I don't think I ever seen a team do that, to be honest with you, that come from 20. It's crazy, but we'll see it. But we'll get Lil John. We got Lex chiming in here as well. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream as always, man. Much love to the family. Appreciate you. All right, Lex, how you doing, baby? Appreciate my dog DC in here, chiming in all the way from the islands. But listen, once again, the Pelicans are on relief, DC, Lex. Outpaced by the Pacers 119-104. And you guys are just in time. I got great news.
So I missed a Willie Green interview?
No, yes, you did. You did miss Willie Green.
Yeah, I purposely wanted to miss his interview.
Listen.
I think I'd have fell asleep if I heard him talk this
Hold on, y'all.
made me sleepy.
I got great news, though.
What happened?
Great news.
Speaking.
You might have missed Willie Green's interview, but you're just in time to go over the stats. So here we go. He go to stats right here, chiming in right here.
Okay, what?
Yes, here you go. Y'all just
Hey, BQ, don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way.
Lex, you thought he was going to say Willie Green got fired up.
I'd have slapped you.
Lex got excited.
Like I said, don't take it the wrong way.
I set that shit up good, didn't I? I got y'all ass.
No, I was like, yeah, I was like this. You better speak it. Okay.
What did Willie Green say?
Look,
nothing.
You're one of them fishes down there in the water. You know what I'm saying? Just slap you with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I got
Did he
time
say
for that.
anything new and interesting?
Of course he did.
That I haven't
What you-
heard before.
Hell no, he didn't. What's wrong with you, DC? You know he don't say nothing new and interesting. He's just a regurgitator, man. He's a robotoid, just like his maker, which is David Grifter. But anyway, let's hit these stats right quick before we hear from DC and Lex on this thing. Y'all hit the like button as y'all coming in the stream. The Pels, 38 of 97 for 39.2% versus the Pacers, 41 of 81 for just over 50%. Look at the Pelicans 3-point shooting, 10 of 33 for 30.3%. Isn't that lovely? 16 of 38 by the Pacers for 42%. Pacers went to the foul line 24 times, converted 21 shots for 87.5%. Pelicans, they got to the line 23 times, 18 to 23 for 78.3%. They did out rebound the Pacers. They had 19 offensive boards in the game. They were out assisted 33 to 18. The Pelicans did win more steals, 11 to 10, 9 to 4 blocks goes the Pacers' way. Pels turned the ball over 18 times for 25 points off turnovers versus 17 by the Pacers for 14 points. The fast break game won slightly by the Pacers, 13 to 12. And the points in the paint, the battle won by the Pelicans, 48 to 38 tonight. And the largest lead Pelicans had at one point was 6. Pacers as much as 25 points. Individually speaking, as we hit the Pelican side of things, you see the top scorer was a guy off the bench named Mr. Brandon Boston Jr., who put up 20 points in 31 minutes of action, 7 to 15 from the field, 3 or 4 from downtown for him. He did really good. 19 points between Herb and DeJounte Murray today, 19 points for Herb in 38 minutes, 6 of 17 from the field, 2 of 8 from downtown. Herb, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. 19 for DeJounte in 35 minutes. He had 7 assists, 7 rebounds, but had 8 turnovers. 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 3 from downtown, 16 from from Trey Murphy in 35 minutes. Trey was not what was cooking, 5 of 16, 2 of 10 from downtown. Finished the game 16.6 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and a couple of blocks from Trey Murphy III. CJ McCollum finished the matchup with 15 points in 31 minutes, 6 of 18 from the field, 1 of 5 from downtown. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. 9 from Yves Missi with 14 rebounds, 1 steal, and the block, and a couple of assists. 6 off the bench from Javonte Green coming back into action, 14 points, 14 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds for him, and nothing else from anybody else. And on the other side of the court, Siakam, 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 21 from Tyrese Halliburton with 10 assists and 3 steals to go along with 4 boards, 16 off the bench from Obi Toppin. Loves playing the Pelicans. He also had 5 rebounds, 17 from Nimber in the matchup, 14 from Miles Turner with 6 boards. Pacers go 12 and 15, 8-4 at home. Pelicans fall to 5 and 22. They are 1 and 13 on the road. So with that out of the way, Lex, DC, the floor is yours. And I appreciate y'all for being just in time for the stats.
You know the stat
looked at me like I was supposed to give you a Grammy or some shit, man.
You know the stat that jumped out at me?
What?
The fact that CJ McCullough only scored 15 points. Q. I'm so upset by this.
That CJ McCollum only scored 16
He should have took 27 shots to get the 25 points. we got to keep him in the 20s, man. We're trying to trade CJ. Get him out of here. Let him go.
Okay. All right. That's
He's an older guy. You need to go to a contender. Let him contend for a championship and let the Pels get some cap space, get out of luxury debt, and figure out what they're going to do.
Okay.
Other than that, the points off the turnovers, but does that really jump out to you? We've been getting our ass kicked at points off the turnovers for like the last 7-8 games. So
why are you saying that sarcastically fake positive?
Because the stat sheet looks like any other stat sheet. They didn't shoot 43s. The other team damn near did. They made more 3-pointers than them. Our field goal percentage sucked. It's somewhat under 43%. It pretty much they had about 16 turnovers, which ain't totally horrible. But when you don't do shit else, the other thing I say that really sticked out to me that was kind of unique or different, but maybe not so much. The way we got our points, when you looked at everybody's points, like with the players, it really jumps out. You damn near only had like 5 people scoring. Nobody else was scoring really, bro. Like you got 104 points and you had about 5 people that damn near had 20 points. And that's crazy. Like that just tells me every goddamn shot you had was hard and everybody pretty much had to make their own shit happen. I'm sure Lex gonna break it down a little more sophisticated and go into the bullshit that is Willie Green, because that's what that kind of looks like to me. There's no identity, as we hear Lex keep talking about. She's absolutely right. And with stuff like that, it shows, man, that they don't get easy points at all. When they have opportunities for easy points, they can't believe their eyes, so they fucking miss them. And it's just a tragedy. I mean, I would like to see our second chance points because we get a lot of offensive rebounds, but I'm almost certain we don't score at least 50% of the time off those offensive rebounds, or probably more than that.
Okay, I'll look that up, DC, until Lex, floor is yours.
So all these stats, I don't care about them.
Hold on. You mean to tell me when I read that my fantastic professional way of reading the stats, you did not want to hear that, ma'am?
No, it didn't mean anything to me. I heard you, but I wasn't listening. I just kind of tuned it out like Willie Green. But it's not because of you, because see, you were just used as a beacon, okay, to speak on the stats and things, which is because you want to be consistent. But what I mean by that is that none of these stats mean anything to me because I looked at the game. I watched the game. Well, sort of. I was looking at my phone.
we understand, Lex. That game boring as hell.
The point is that I know the game well enough to know that they didn't want me to watch the game. The Pelicans didn't. I don't think the Pelicans wanted any of the supporters to watch the game. I really don't. You know why? Because the thing is, I'm looking at the body language. I'm looking at everything that the stat sheet cannot cover. It can't measure. Heart, will, effort, energy, all of that stuff. This team does not have it. They're not playing with any type of conviction. They're going through the motions like at an all-time low. They were so disinterested in the game before they even picked up the ball. Before the ball was even tipped, they were not interested in the game. So why in God's name do you want me to be interested in taking out my time to watch you? You came out with nothing. You came out like you were defeated in your mind, in your body, and the game hadn't even started yet. The game was close. It was like 8-8, and I'm like, and I actually turned the game on because I actually went to go get some Popeyes, for the family and things. You know what I'm saying?
Play the video.
Look, and then stop by KFC to get the coleslaw because the coleslaw is really good with Popeyes chicken. So, if y'all haven't tried that, please try it because I don't typically like the sides of Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? But that coleslaw is fire with the Popeyes chicken. Okay, back to basketball. Okay. They didn't want anybody to watch that game. Like, in order for you to have a chance to win, you got to play with something. That's why I always say, like, energy. That's always the first thing that I say because that has nothing to do with stats. You have to be engaged. You have to be acclimated. You have to want to play the game of basketball. Man, I mean, I know for me, when I get on basketball court, I get excited. You know what I'm saying? I could talk about it and I get excited. Like, there's none of that. There's none of that at all. Like, these guys just I don't see that passion for the game, the love of the game. I don't see any of that. I really don't. But that's the first thing that you have to have. That's the first thing. Man, all the stats what Brandon Boston did, I don't Stacy said in the chat, I don't remember not seeing one play ran. I'm looking at Trey Murphy, and there's some things that I'm not really liking. He needs plays to be ran for him. He's not kind of like a dribble, do a few dribbles in between your legs and things and then pull up. Like, he got his shot blocked, I think, like twice doing that type stuff because his handle is slow.
Right.
His handle's too slow. And really what I tell him is like, dude, you need to get closer to the ground and you need to work on the whole process of your shot, your follow through in your body from the legs all up here and then following through on your shot. It needs to get quicker. It's not quick enough. He doesn't have any time. And I think this kind of alludes to the fact that I don't feel like he's used to his body yet. It's kind of weird. Like, he still moves like he's not comfortable in his body. But like, just other than that, I just look at this whole team. CJ was a huge defensive liability. There were so many fouls. They reached 15 fouls, people. 15 fouls in the first quarter. Not the half, in the first quarter. They were in the bonus. The Pacers were. The defense is not getting better. It's getting worse. And I don't know what these guys are doing in practice. They might as well not have practice because that's what it looks like anyway. Like, what are you all doing? And then really the first question, I think the ultimate question is like, how long are you gonna, ride this train as far as with Willie Green? Like,
till the wheels fall off, baby.
What are we doing here?
Tanking.
But you know what? They haven't said that though. So
does any team that's tanking say they're tanking, Lex? They can't really.
They're not gonna say it. Yeah.
They're gonna get in trouble if they say it.
Well, you know what the thing is, they in trouble now with me. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
get them, Lex.
Because this is just ridiculous. Golly, guys, make it look like you want to play basketball. Just make it look like it. Just act like it. I'm not saying be it. Just act like it. Let's try to win that Oscars. Let's try to do that because they don't look like they're engaged. They don't look like they're trying to be like, hey, fans and Pelicans, supporters turned on their televisions to watch this. And they didn't have to win this game. They didn't even try. There was no effort at all. They didn't try at all. It's like, golly. I mean, well, maybe I should just try not to watch you then. You know what I'm saying? Because I really watched the first quarter probably in full effect. Second quarter, I was in and out in between my phone. And second half,
love that chicken from Popeyes.
But yeah, I mean, y'all get the gist of it. I mean, it's like,
I don't think
y'all got to try, man. You all have to try. This is your job.
Well, it's another effort that's not an effort. It's a dumb effort. Like, they talk about giving an effort. It's a difference in my book. Like, there's intelligent effort and there's dumbass effort. Like what we see a lot of times the Pelicans give, which is a half-ass effort. Like, we see the second quarter, how they played. The third quarter, they picked it up. But they can't seem to put a whole game together. And that ties to coaching, that ties to discipline, that ties to IQ, that ties to a lot of things. And right now, I don't see them fixing that because Willie Green he's a big part of all of this going on. He don't have the answer. He don't have the answer. And it's not working. It's not working. Like I said, 4-game losing streak, and now they're facing the next team on the docket is the Houston Rockets. We kind of schmooze right into our next matchup. We got the Houston Rockets, who are 7-19. They're 10-3 at home, and they're just coming off a loss to OKC too. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for us against Houston. So what happens here, DC? What do you think goes on along with these? More of the same, bro?
I don't have to think very much at all.
Okay, go ahead on and say it.
It's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. I mean, you got one team that's motivated to win, and another team is going through the motions. The Pelicans are, on a basketball court, they don't know who the hell they are, what they want to do, and how they want to do it. And as Lex pointed out, they kind of waffle back and forth of whether they want to really try hard or not, because they get discouraged by some of the, I guess, results of what they're doing out there. And they just have all these mental lapses. And you saw it, the game when she just talked about it, the first quarter, even though they had a lot of fouls, Lex, you were right, but they were still in the game in the first quarter. The second quarter, they just fell off a cliff, man. They scored 14 points. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have 14-point quarters and 10-point quarters and 15, 16-point quarters consistently and expect to win in the NBA. Like, the only way you can overcome that is by having a 40-point quarter, and then you got to hold the other team to a 27-point quarter. And that just ain't something that's going to happen. So saying all that to say, we're going to see more of the same against Houston. I didn't see anything tonight to show me that that's going to change. They, sleepwalk through the game, and then they get to the fourth quarter, and they're like, all right, let's buckle it up and make the score look respectable. That's how it looked to me.
And
they
that's
lose
horrible.
by 20 all game, and then they kind of cut it down, and we lose by 15 or 11.
Yeah, they didn't want to win.
The score is never a true indicator. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but a lot of times the score ain't a true indicator with the Pels of how close the game was or not. Because sometimes they cut those points down at the end of the game because they don't want to get clowned or look too bad. I don't think the players give a shit about what Willie Green talking about. They obviously had their own ideas of what they want to do, but at the same time, they're trying to be professionals and respectable and all of that stuff. And it's a disaster.
Showing up and not performing is not professional.
Well, Lex,
professional.
I kind of agree, but you got to remember something, Lex. You got to remember something. We got to make some shirts because you got to put your shirt on that coaching matters. You know what I'm saying? So they can show up and be prepared to do some stuff, and shit can totally not go your way, a la Trey Murphy, because you don't have no goddamn help. CJ McCollum, I guess you could say his game wasn't professional. CJ, you just gave him the basketball, go make it happen. A lot of times CJ will make something out of that. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's not CJ McCollum and Brandon Boston. They kind of need a system or a structure or something that can set them up to excel, or at least give them an advantage against the other team. DeJounte, I think, is a guy who could get his buckets, but he kind of seems more like he needs a system too to elevate him to where we know he's capable of playing, or at least need everybody to be on the same page.
Exactly, and he don't have that.
Right. Like, how am I know what you like the pass? Like, we're not really communicating this. Our practices probably ain't good far as that. And you talking about he the point guard. You don't even know where you like the ball at. Like, they're just going.
Nobody knows each other.
Everybody's sleepwalking. It's just they on autopilot. That's how it look. They trying. That's the one thing.
I don't even think they're doing that. Because it doesn't look like.
I just see a lot of dumb stuff.
Teams, you look at the other players on the other teams, and that's a way to measure if you're working hard. You can tell if somebody's working harder than you. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, it's like, okay, Halliburton, he got a block on like Trey, got the ball, you know what I'm saying, was moving with a purpose and went down to the other end, shot a 3. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a feel and a move about, man, I want this. Getting it to, yelling at the end of the court after finishing. Like I don't know how many and ones they had. I think it was in the second quarter. The second quarter where it was like Pacers were just throwing up just wild shots and they were going in and they got fouled on them. I was like, golly, that's how bad it is. When you're not working hard, that's the type of stuff that starts falling for the other team. Like Circus 2.0 type shots. Like stuff like that. Like, if somebody's working harder than you. You know it. And then just unforced turnovers. Like, man, we all know that the Pacers are not a defensive team. Man, they made them look like defensive players of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Are you serious? This is crazy.
Well,
they were defensive juggernauts on tonight.
I don't consider trying a true indicator of working hard. But, maybe we could say they're working stupidly. How about that? They're doing dumb work. Because, I see them out. They getting up and down the court.
I agree.
They were running with pace. I see them trying to at least kind of do what they're supposed to do. They're attempting to play defense, or else there would have been no fouls. It would have just been a straight layup line like we've seen in other games.
Okay. Yeah. Did you hear what you just said?
Yeah.
So you took one over both of them are bad.
It's horrible. I ain't saying it's good. I'm just saying I consider them professionals bearing the circumstances, all the bullshit they're going through. I do see them out there giving a true effort. At least that's what it looked like to me. But I think their energy and their effort is like wasted, and they do the dumbest shit possible from a basketball IQ standpoint. So, all that effort and energy falls on deaf ears and horrible results. They go out there, and I see them try to do to the best of their ability, whatever the hell it is that they can do. But, they don't, like you said, they're not running a whole bunch of fire sets. They don't have a excellent philosophy offensively. Mm-mm. Defensively, they're discouraged with the switch all bullshit, and everybody understands we're going to switch everything, so they put us in unintelligent switches, like you would say, and we just get exploited over and over again because we're like it's like a team, and everybody did the scouting report, and we don't do the scouting report.
No, they don't do.
Like, we don't adapt and adjust to who we playing.
No,
we gonna play our game
after the same way each game.
Right, we act like we won 5 championships playing this way or some shit. So like we just gonna do our game and force everybody to adapt to us, and everybody does what they're supposed to do against us and embarrasses us.
It's
and
easy.
We don't change nothing. Right. So if you looking at the players, looking at that, when it's a 30, 40, 25 point blowout, stuff like that, I'm in total agreement with you, Lex. That's just a lack of effort. You ain't even trying. But they going out there, they losing by 15, 18, 20, 10.
And it's just fine. They're just, the effort is not there. Like, they actually, like, I was looking at the game because looking at the Pacers, I'm not saying they weren't even playing hard like that.
They weren't playing hard.
That's what's crazy, is that you're looking at these teams, and against the Pelicans, it's like, look, let's go out there, do our thing. Because they're, in a way, they're actually going through the motions too. But the thing is that at some point in time, they just turn it up a little bit. As the other team just turns it up just a little bit, just enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this is against the Pelicans, it's a game that opponent teams are supposed to win. It's like, oh, shoot, we got the Pelicans next. Oh, this is easy work. This is like a day, like a day off for other teams. So they're not playing as hard. Trust me, the Pacers, they weren't playing the Pelicans compared to if the Pacers were playing the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat.
Yeah, because
Or
their
the
game plan
76ers
don't
trying to-
rely on pace and effort.
They're not, they weren't playing like that. And I feel like that with a lot of opponent teams. They're not playing as hard. You know why? Because the thing is, the Pelicans are like worse than that, like times 10. And all they'd have to do to be like, okay, the game was close. Let's turn it up just a little bit, take care of business, go home next game. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Not even the opponent teams, they're not working that hard, but they're working hard enough where it's way more than the Pelicans.
Well, let me ask
And
you
that's
this,
sad,
Lex.
man.
Would you say the Pelicans are working harder than the opposing team?
That's called a layup question. Go ahead, Lex.
I don't feel like they are. They're playing. You know how I always say to at least match the energy of the other team. I feel like they're like, okay, this is where the energy of the other team is. All right, we need to be like right here. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the under on the parlay. Okay, they're doing the under. They're not trying to match it. They're not trying to exceed it. They're doing the under. And it's like, no. And they're not even like this. Look, it's like everything's down here, right? This is the middle. This is high end. Okay, they're like right here, the opponent team. Okay, this is the low end. Now, what they really should, they should be playing up here. But opponent teams right here, Pelicans are right here. And then look, they just go like this. Okay, in a quarter. And that's just enough to beat the Pelicans, which are still in the same spot. They still in the same spot. See, it was here. And opponent team just went here. Okay? Like, all right, let's take care of business, guys. But the Pelicans, they didn't move. They stayed right there.
So they're consistent.
On cruise control.
They're so bad. They're so bad, man.
You know
they're so
consistently awful.
They're so bad. If you look at the standings right here, they're so bad. They lose DC. Listen, Lex. They're almost 10 games behind the Spurs. That's how bad
and
this
the
team
Spurs
is.
And the Spurs are actually trying, and they're putting forth effort. They're really trying to do come up.
No, they're fighting. They're 6-4 the last 10. They're on a 2-game winning streak. The reason why I say that is not to debase the Spurs. It's just showing you the 4th team in the Southwest is a 13-12 team, and the Pelicans are almost 10 games worse than the 4th team in the Southwest Division. That is astronomically bad, and I don't remember a season where I seen the Pelicans or our New Orleans team this bad. This probably is one of the most all-time terrible seasons.
I'm about to look up the Pel seasons, Q.
I'm just saying. When we talk about
I said it last show. I said this has been the worst seasons of Pelicans basketball ever.
It got to be. It's definitely the most disappointing.
You know that's bad, bro. When we had remember we had their lineup with Tim Frazier, what's your boy name? Uncle Earl, Dante Cunningham, Omer Ashik was starting this. I mean, we had it was a horrible and with Alvin Gentry coaching, and I bet you they won more games than this team probably will.
Yeah, this is bad, man. It's definitely the most disappointing season as a Pelican faithful that you can endure, because you have all these players, your crew, you get DeJounte Murray, bring him in, you draft Yves, and you're thinking, hey man, we're gonna be able to kind of flip Ingram before the trade deadline. We'll get a player to help accentuate what we're trying to do. And bam, once again, Zion gets hurt. Bam, DeJounte gets hurt in his first game. All this kind of stuff happens. So why we and listen, DC, it's definitely the most disappointing season. We've been doing these shows for a very long time.
Well,
So
we had one season. I don't know if we can match it. This was
No,
under Byron Scott. We were
Okay.
18-64.
that was his first year, right?
Yes.
And
That
he
was
had
before he got that's before he got Chris Paul, I believe.
that was the team that had Dan Dickau on it.
I don't remember who was on it.
I
don't
want to
remember who
say
was on the
because
team.
Baron Davis left, and he picked up the
No,
team.
no. He had
Yeah,
Chris
Baron?
Paul before he got Barron.
I'm saying, did he have the first year? I don't remember, but
Oh,
the first-
Byron Scott ain't.
that's his
Wait,
first
so
year.
he was still there after the Chris Paul trade, or then we go straight to money?
No, he had Chris Paul. I want to say he had Chris Paul.
No, he had Chris Paul, obviously, but I'm saying once we traded Chris Paul, was Byron Scott still the coach with Baron Davis?
I don't remember, but DC, I'm trying to stay on. I'm asking you a question.
All right, what's your question, bro?
The question is, was that Byron Scott's first year, the 18 win season you just said? Was that the first season?
Yes, that's
Now,
I answered that. That was his first season.
Who was the point guard on that team?
Let me look up the team. Let's see.
Because that's why they were bad. Because that team wasn't very
Chris
talented.
Paul was not there. Oh,
It
you're
was
right.
Dan Dickau.
You're right. I forgot. Baron Davis was here before Chris Paul. I don't know why I thought about that. In reverse, and he had Dan Dickau. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's why they was 18. They were 18.
That's when
Yeah.
we had Speedy Claxton,
Mhm.
PJ Brown, Darryl Armstrong. Oh, you remember him?
Oh yeah, that center.
No, the point
No.
guard. He was small.
Yeah. He was old though. He was old. He
Yeah,
was actually a pretty decent player
He
for
was
Orlando.
good. He
Yeah.
had 10 years. He had 10
Mhm.
years in.
Yep.
He'd be balling sometimes. Chris Anderson was the center.
Oh, Birdman. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the
Yeah, so-
beginning. He didn't even get his name Birdman until years later, but
Yeah, he was
beginning of Birdman.
But the thing is, that was a
Oh!
untalented team. So you have a team like this is by far to me worse because the Pelicans have all these guys on the team, the Zions, the Brandon Ingrams, the Herb Jones, the Trey Murphys, and so on and so forth. And they produced 5 wins, and people keep talking about whether it was injuries or not. It ain't all this is not injuries. A lot of this stuff is coaching. A lot of this is bad coaching. So it is what it is. What's this, DC? Is this
the team.
roster?
This is the team.
Make it full. Hold on, make it full.
Let's see if I can make it bigger.
I got it.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at this
Yeah.
trash, man. All these garbages. All this garbage on the team.
I clicked out of them. Go back.
All right, but anyway, let me. This is the perfect.
Man, we
segue.
had J.R. Smith on the team.
I think that was his first year too.
Yeah.
That was his first year before all the stuff happened.
Yeah, they shipped him. They shipped him out. David Wesley was on that team too, and David West.
Well, listen, this is a perfect segue for this here, and we did the flash report the other day about it, about the team, the injuries, and all this. Dyson Daniels. This is an opportunity for the family members for y'all two to chime in on the thing that Dyson Daniels said the other day about the Pelicans being cursed. So yeah, well, he kind of said it, but he wasn't taking bad shots at them. He was basically speaking about him and all of the injuries that happened to him since he'd been here. So, and everything. So is the Dyson Daniels right about the Pelicans getting cursed? Y'all chime in. DC Lex.
Man, he went from one bird to the next. But
he doing something over there though.
As far as him being cursed, I like to encourage you to look at Dyson Daniels' stats this year.
What's wrong with the standards, DC?
Not his standards. I said
okay.
I was talking about his stats, man.
About to say, what's wrong with his standards? You don't like Austrians, bro? What's going on with you, bro?
No, it ain't that I have anything against.
I thought you might like it, brother. You're from a island continent, brother. I thought you might have say, I like Dyson's style of play. Physical.
I'm just saying I like to share the screen one more time just to show just to show his stats because he's been impactful this year nonetheless. But when I look at Dyson's statistics, Ain't nothing really blowing me out the water. He just got more minutes. He's got 34 minutes. No, I'm saying the man got 34 minutes.
Throw some dirt, DC Mudsling. Go ahead.
He's shooting 30% from 3-point line.
Pause that video.
He actually shot 1% better. I got the volume off. He actually shot 1% better from 3-point% as a Pelican. You know what I'm saying? He's still 61% from the free throw line. You know, he's got 1 rebound, 0.7 more, but I mean, he's playing 12 more minutes a game. So he's averaging 5 rebounds versus 4 here. He's averaging 3.4 assists versus 2.7.
Okay.
0.9 blocks. Now the steals is crazy. I gotta give him props for the steals. He had 3 steals a game. That's crazy. You know, almost 2 turnovers and 13 points a game. I'm saying all that. Dice isn't a horrible player, and he's working out for them. But usually when somebody come out, man, they be talking crazy like that. You would think, you know, they on route to making their first All-Star game or something. You know what I'm saying?
You think he was talking crazy?
I think he dropping his nuts on us, man. And to me, he ain't really in a position to be talking like that. To me. But nonetheless, about his comments, man, I can't really say the man said nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he said is true. He called Trey fragile and all the Pelicans players fragile on one show, and Trey was kind of like, dang, bro, like, you coming at me. Like, he couldn't even really respond, Q, because it's like he's in such a effed up situation, right? And then Dice, he gonna say he cursed. He glad to be away from here. They got everything down there. They got ankles and knees and all this shit, hamstrings. And I had 5 ankle injuries. And it just sounds like a person to me. If he was, he's shocked at his success, I think. Because if he was as good as everybody hyping him up to be, you know what players like that have, Q? They usually have some type of class. And that type of thing is beneath them because their expectations are way beyond that. They didn't do what they weren't able to do in New Orleans, not because of the New Orleans Pelicans, but they didn't do it because of themselves. That those type of people would take accountability for their lack of whatever happened here. Although I'm sure the Pels ain't help them enough. Willie didn't give him minutes. We all know that's true. But you can't act like you was doing everything right here and it didn't work out. And then you turn around and say the offseason you took changed your life after the Pelicans because as soon as the season was over, you worked out for a month straight. And that was before you went to the Olympics. So you wasn't working out for a month straight once the season was over with New Orleans because you ain't had no minutes your first year? You know, you see what I'm saying, bro? It's like no accountability and all of his past not improving, he's just almost blaming on us. And I don't like that. The statement he said, I just don't like it coming from him. If Chris Paul said something like that, you know, we'd be a little mad, but we'd be like, well, you know, Chris Paul did give his all. Chris Paul was so many All-Star games. Like, what can you really say? That's coming from goddamn Dyson Daniels. Come on, bro. Like Dyson Daniels could get fly and talk to us like this. Do we play Atlanta again? Because if we play Atlanta again, I would like to see some hard fouls on the Australian. I would like to see, I don't care if we get blowed out by 50. He should have 2 points. Like, where's the fight, the respect, do we care about anything?
You talking about
I wish somebody else was in there interviewing with him instead of Trey, because Trey just don't strike me as that type of dude, man. But like, you can't just come at us like that, bro. But nonetheless, we get up here every podcast and we talk shit about the Pelicans. And all the Pelicans.
That's your team.
No, we don't.
All the Pelicans supporters.
Lex said, no, we don't.
Lex, we do.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Well, okay. We get up here and
I'm waiting till you finish
about the Pelicans.
I'm waiting till you finish, though.
We tell the truth about the Pelicans, and we expose some things. And you know,
DC said we're talking shit up here.
Well, I'm
No,
saying, I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying, like, we get up here and
Say what you mean, DC. Say it with your chest.
we say the real. I call that talking shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
okay, I got you.
no,
Okay.
but if it's real, it's not. It ain't that though,
well,
Nah,
right?
but
negative, I call it talking shit, even though it's real.
that's but
Because
Lex,
we,
hold on now. You gotta give DC some credit on that. He keeping it real. That's just
I
what he
don't like
calls
the
it from
credit.
his country.
I do not like that word. But go on.
Go ahead, DC.
I get it. But anything negative to me, like if you talking negative towards something, like and you clown it,
That
or
ain't
we-
negative though.
Go ahead, DC. Let him finish, Lex.
I'm
Hold on,
sorry.
let
I
him-
You
just
get triggered?
felt
Let him go.
this-
Let him go.
Oh, chicken!
I've heard
You
this
getting
before.
triggered?
Chicken. She about to call your ass a chicken in a minute. That's how you know she upset.
Like that was the
Just
next
had
one. That's why I
Popeyes
took it
tonight,
from her. She was
y'all.
gonna say no
saying?
chicken next.
Shoot.
You had to say it for
I know, DC. I know.
But,
She about to bust that chicken.
But look, I'm saying when we rib right down here, we call cracking jokes on people ribbing, and I'm only saying that for you, Lex, because I know you from Ohio. I don't know.
Hold on,
what y'all
DC.
call
What you said?
Excuse
I
me?
gotta verify this.
Well, you
Huh? What'd you
ribbing,
say?
DC.
ribbing,
What?
You call that where?
capping, ribbing.
Where's that at?
What?
Man,
Where'd
get
you
out
say I'm from?
My bad. I said the wrong thing.
What?
Far as
What'd
where
you
you from?
say?
DC is
What-
moonwalking his ass off tonight, boy.
I might
Boy, I
have the
never
wrong
seen a
place of where you
Rastafarian
from, but I remember.
moonwalk.
I know where you at. What You say Cleveland, right?
No, that's
She's in
where I
Louisville,
went.
dude.
for
What you talking about?
That's where I went to watch a game, a Pelicans game.
Oh, you was out there in Cleveland, all right?
No,
DC, where you from?
Everywhere. But
Okay.
anyway, like I was saying,
Jamaica. He from Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
we'll call it ribbon. We'll call it ribbon, right? But
In
when I rib
Jamaica, right,
on you,
DC? Yeah.
or when you cap on somebody, you gonna say stuff that's true, or maybe slightly true. You know what I'm saying? And you talking shit.
All right,
You
DC,
talking
we
shit.
got you.
So,
You don't have to
but the
moonwalk.
only point I'm saying, Dyson Daniels don't have that privilege. Dyson Daniels shouldn't be able to talk like this, like he's established in the league and really just took off. Because I think he's a solid player, but I mean, he a role player, man. Let's do the role player. He ain't no all-star.
I agree with you on that, bro. But you can't do.
And them numbers he got, I think he could have got the same numbers here if Willie would have paid him 34 minutes like they playing.
But I'm asking this though, DC, before Lex chime in and please,
Lex say no.
please,
His percentages are all the same, though. Lex, it's just more attempts.
I get you on that. All I'm asking you, DC, is to explain. Even though his percentages are better, well, I mean, are
They
better
not
than
better.
you saying that he's not doing a better job there? That he's not?
No,
doing,
I'm not saying that. I don't think he did a bad job here. Dyson Q, we talk about this all the time. Some people
But
talk
the
negative
commentary was
about
it being
people
cursed
would talk-
down here, DC. That's what he talking about, being cursed down here because
No,
of the injuries.
He didn't say nothing wrong. What he said is true.
But you saying that he don't have the right to say it.
Yeah. At least,
Because-
especially not like that.
Okay, I got you. I understand
That's
what
I'm
you're saying.
saying.
Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
He didn't lie. He ain't lying on us.
I got you. I understand. Okay, I was.
We all know. They built the Superdome and the New Orleans Arena. Everybody know the rumors, and they got some truth to that of being graveyards and stuff around them. They built it on top of that, and a lot of people say that's where the curses come from.
That's definitely true. They didn't take all the bodies off that site. That's what a lot of people. There was an old Native American burial ground.
The Pelicans are aware of that, and maybe all this talk about getting a new arena at a new location have something to do with that too. But I don't understand why they can't just do what it is. But I don't understand why they can't just do what Sean Payton did. Or at least get some type of leader in the building like a Sean Payton. I think that would help tremendously. Something that simple.
Lex?
Hey, how y'all doing?
We good.
I'm all right.
Listening to you.
I'm sorry about misinterpreting your home location town. I'm sorry.
It's all right, DC.
Where you from?
I'm from Earth.
I thought you were from.
I am from Earth.
Are you from Jamaica?
Born and raised.
DC's from Jamaica. Jamaica.
I'm from Earth. I'm from Earth, my brother.
Mother Earth.
Born and raised. Okay. Yeah, I don't think Dyson Daniels, I don't think his stats have anything to do with it. I mean, the thing is that he's gone to another situation. He's in a better situation. Way better situation. A legitimate starter. He's doing his thing. The thing is that it may not be a huge difference from when he was here with the Pelicans, but the thing is he's improved. And that's the point. He's gone up, not down. Okay? No matter if it's like a half percentage, a full, you know what I'm saying? 1%, 2%. Those might be low percentages, but the thing is he's improved and he's trending upward. And that's the thing. I think Dyson Daniels had every right to say, whatever he wanted to say. I look at Tony Allen, DeMarcus Cousins, Rajon Rondo, Anthony Davis. Who else? The things that
What the hell Rondo said?
I mean, but all those dudes are champions.
No, all I'm saying is that these guys came here, right? They came here. And they stated similar things, maybe not the exact same thing as Dyson did. He just did it in a different way. But it's all aligning. It's all aligning. Everybody's just saying it in a different way. And so the thing is that the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Like, look. If Stephen A, yeah, I can understand. Nobody likes Stephen A. He's a butthole. Perkins, yeah, we've given it to him. We can understand. And Perkins is a champion too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay.
Yeah,
and he went here. He played, right? Okay.
Bit,
so the thing is, we don't want to, yeah, they may be saying the truth. They may say the exact same thing as Dyson Daniels, but both Stephen A and Perkins are buttholes. Okay. The thing is, and for them two, yeah, it's like, yeah, what they said might be true, but yeah, from them those mouths, man, Dyson when he was here didn't have not one problem out of that dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, I think culturally, he's a laid back guy. He's from Australia, from small country in Australia and everything. So the thing is, I think he very mild mannered. You know what I'm saying? That's just his personality, but I think he has every right. He has more clearance than Perkin and people like Stephen A. Just like with Tony Allen, and he was joking about it. We all watched that video. Allen said that the Pelicans organization was the worst organization. We just played that not too long ago. And trust me, he didn't say curse. It looked like Dyson Daniels went into specifics. Man, he just said, man, Pelicans just the worst organization, and started laughing with his boys.
He was making fun of Gentry a lot.
Yeah, he was talking about the coach and then all of that wasn't under the current ownership.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, still, it was towards the organization though. And the thing is, I think obviously he said the word, curse and everything, but really it's bad. It's extremely bad business as far as running this organization. That's what it is. It's poorly ran. The infrastructure of this organization is very, very bad. That's what it is.
Talk, boy. He ain't lying.
So the thing, this is poorly ran. It's not that it's cursed. You have some cursed decision makers. That's what you got. You got cursed people who don't know the game of basketball. And really, in a way, the ownership is kind of cursed because she don't know what she's doing. That's what it is. These people, everybody in that front office, and I say everybody, the marketing team, the medical staff, the performance staff, the ownership, the Three Stooges. Okay, y'all know who I'm talking about. Griff, Loomis, and the other dude.
Lauscha.
Yeah, there you go. The Three Stooges. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know what they're doing. And and really when he said curse, I felt like, just like what you said earlier, Big Q, it's systemic. This system that the Pelicans have is awful. It's awful. They need to get away from Oshner. I don't know a whole lot about them, but golly, there is strong, powerful, really good quality medical
Staff.
organizations that the Pelicans can hook up with. Like, they really can. Like, they really do need to consider, because if what you all say about Oshner is true, they curse too. I would be scared to go up in that hospital the way things that I've heard about them.
Yeah.
Now, where I'm at, like, people actually travel, but we have the best medical systems where I'm at. My grandmother, she had cancer. She came all the way from Mississippi, all the way up here to be tended to, because it's the best hospitals, known one of the top hospital organizations in the nation. Okay, so I don't know what's going on down there. I don't even want to know. But I mean, the thing is, what Dyson was saying, like, man, it's the truth. And as long as that what Dyson said ain't coming out of Perkins' mouth, or what Dyson said ain't coming out of Stephen A's mouth, look, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. And you know what? Dyson Daniels, I don't think he rubbed nobody the wrong way. I really don't. While he was here, he didn't rub nobody the wrong way. When he was out there, he did he put his best foot forward and everything. But he told the truth. But I think when you say the word curse, I just think it's just really bad business decisions, bad management, bad ownership. And then you have people who don't know what they're doing. And you put all that together, you know what? That creates a curse. That creates a curse. You all are cursing. Those people in the front office are cursing this organization.
It's very interesting, man. That to hear the players talk about that, man, all the time, because it ain't nothing new. You've been dealing with this for years now, man. For years. Since we were dealing with it, I don't know if to say as bad as we were doing before the current administration took over the team, but they knew something was wrong with the medical staff, because when they took over the team, Tom Benson tried to make the Saints physicians help the Pelicans physician. It was like, you can't do that. They were overworked. People wouldn't get seen properly. It was a cluster. And then eventually they went to having a mixture of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Then they just went with Oshner and say, hey, man, just one stop shop for everything. And that's how then Oshner even put their name on the Pelicans training. I mean, the Saints. Is it the Saints? Yeah, the Saints and Pelicans training facility. They got their names and they sponsoring the damn building. So they're getting money off them people. So it's a very unique relationship between the two. She got connections to with her charities through Oshner. Gail was just auctioning off one of her Benzes, in the moonlight auction that they showed during the Pelicans broadcast. So yeah, it's a very strange, I ain't gonna say a strange relationship, but at the end of the day, they're not approaching it like that. All these people see is money. That's all they see. They don't see anything else until the money stops. Then changes come. That's how it goes. And I would definitely say, from knowing the history of Oshner University and knowing what they've been tied to, hell yeah, I would definitely break from them. Them and Tulane ain't no better. I would caution the Pelicans to be able to do and hire people, their own people, and build up their own staff and get the best people you can get. I said it on the Flash Report, telling people, listen, you're going to have injuries, but you can control to a degree, how many injuries you're going to have based on how good your specialists are in dealing with that. If we are able to attract the best people, the best specialists that we can have and spend some real money in that area, you will see a change in this organization. Like if we were the top organization in the NBA in terms of getting the best medical people that we can get for whatever those specialties are, like we're dealing with soft tissue issues and stuff like that, and we have them there. And not only that, but we get the right facility and get all the right technology and all whatever we need there, you would see an improvement. Because like me and DC was talking about, I asked him, I said, hey man, tell me what team in the NBA that you would rather mimic. Now you have Willie Green talking about looking at Golden State and the switch all that kind of crap. But DC said Boston. And I said, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And DC talked, I said, why that? And he said, because, man, listen, think about how many injuries they go through. They have injuries, but they win. They always competitive. They win in these championships, and they don't have all these goddamn injuries, and they playing in the same NBA our Pelicans are playing at. How do they have the fortune of always, for the majority of the time, having their best players on the floor? How do they have that and you don't have that if it's the people in the building tied to the trainers and everything? Come on, man. And I was telling these people that they don't seem to get it because they program to what these other cats, these sports teams are telling them. Look at these other teams that's competing. They don't have these type of injuries you have. You don't have, your medical staff is not built correctly. When she took over, remember, they dumped over $200,000 of her own money into getting the facilities up to standard, because them facilities was way down. That was several years ago, where they brought Aaron, what's his name, DC? Aaron Nelson here. That was the first move Griffin did when he took over the team. He pulled Nelson from the Phoenix Suns, who at the time was one of the best that they had. And he came here, he made a list of things that they needed and told Gail, and she cut a check for like 200 G's, it was $250,000 to improve the medical facilities. And that was prior to him getting here. How bad they were then. See, it's all tied to how much money you're willing to spend in the medical area. If we can attract and get the best and the brightest in these certain areas that pertain to these injuries and whatnot, and we have the facility, the top notch in the NBA, you would see a noticeable improvement in injuries on the court. So, talk to that, DC. That was your idea about Boston. Kind of expound on that, bro, because that's some good game you was talking the other day.
Oh, most definitely, man. And that idea has just been around for a long time. We always talked about stuff like that. Far as the injuries and the medical staff, when we first started doing this podcast, Pelicans postgame report, when we first started, remember we would talk about that same driving point, because they had a year. It was Tyreek Evans, Drew Holiday, Eric Gordon, and Anthony Davis. All of them dudes was out. The whole starting lineup, basically just like what we experienced this year. They were out, I think, longer than what we had to endure this year. And them dudes still wound up probably winning more games than we going to win this year. But the whole point is, when you follow the Pelicans, injuries have always mounted and been at a ridiculous rate compared to other NBA teams. Like this, I'm talking about like the Chris Paul era. We had some, it wasn't as bad, but everything after the Chris Paul era, since we stopped calling ourselves the Hornets and we've been calling ourselves the Pelicans, injuries have been a consistent theme for this team over and over. And it goes down to what you're doing and who you have in place, because there's no reason that you should be experiencing all of these injuries back to back seasons. Like I see my man Don Giller in the comments. You said those guys aren't hurt. I guess they just don't want to play, what you're alluding to. But if that's the case, bro, then we have to say these guys don't want to play since 2019. Since Zion got here, we've always been dealing with injuries. And when Zion was healthy, Brandon Ingram was injured. We always had that. And you're right, Rob. CP3, Pager, and David West did miss a ton of time. But putting that in comparison to what we deal with now, I almost look at the time they missed
not even
man,
close.
it was manageable.
For
Because
real,
what we
it's not
deal
even
with
close.
now, like we talking about a dude who a role player, right? Dyson is only allotted to have maybe 12 to 15 minutes. Dyson had multiple injuries he dealt with and missed major time here. You know, like everybody who came here, Drew Holiday is probably one of the best professionals in basketball. And when you watch, I've actually watched his off seasons and how that dude train. He be training underwater. He doing like marine type shit. Drew Holiday had injury issues here, and he leaves here. Drew Holiday ever had any like serious major,
No.
injuries where he missed 30 games or something? It's happened multiple times here. Andy Davis would be the one outlier, as much as people call him street clothes Davis, and he actually, I would say here is bearing the circumstances. He played a lot. He definitely played more time than he missed. It ain't like what we're dealing with Zion. But when you look at other teams around the league, man, you have teams like Boston. And even a team, this is a weird one, but when you think about it, it's like, man, that do make sense. A team like Utah. How many times we hear people on Utah just being severely injured or they haven't been riddled with all these damn injuries? You know, there's others. We seen what happened with Memphis last year, and they were severely injured. But you have, a lot of teams around the league where they don't deal with even half the injuries that we have to deal with on a yearly basis. And that all goes down to being something that is preventable. And it don't seem like it's that hard to prevent, because even when you don't go to the top tier teams, you just look at your average teams in the league. They still don't deal with the amount of injuries that we've been dealing with when you add it up over a 10, 12-year time period. The Pelicans, they got to be number one in injuries. And then you look at the Pelicans and you think, okay, people say, oh, they just having bad injury luck. So the Saints have bad injury luck too? We got the same organization running the Saints.
Ain't no way around
it. They
this,
got the
BT.
same shit that go on over there.
Ain't no way around it.
The last, I think 10 or 12 seasons, the Saints and the Baltimore Ravens, I think, are tied. Or they like 1 and 2 for the most injuries in a season for a franchise. And then we've seen the Saints damn near have multiple years where that keep happening. So Alvin Kamara just got hurt today.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like,
let me trip your head
his starting quarterback has been hurt for the last 4 or 5 years with the Saints. That is insane.
Let me trip your head out on this one. Look at this. Read this.
Somebody's asleep at the wheel.
Read this. Saints Pelicans president Dennis Lauscha elected to Oshner Health Board of Directors.
Well, we see who's growing.
Well, maybe that's why he running the Pelicans and the Saints, man.
Leadership.
Man, these people all tied into each other.
Got Oshner in there, and he on the board. It's all one big unhappy family.
Nah, they happy. They making money, dude.
Nah, this is a monopoly. That's that's what that is right there. And you know what? I think the only way this is going to be resolved is moving the team, man. Because this is what they have going on here is not right.
Hold on, Lex. Hold on. I don't want to cut you off, but listen to this. This happened a while ago, and I was not aware of this. And this is usually the type of shit I be on. And this was snuck past me. This has been happening. This was 2 years ago. Saints Pelicans president Dennis Lauscha, who does nothing for our teams collectively. He is not the real president of this. I mean, he does nothing to football for the Saints or Pelicans. It's just a title he has. He's brings his decades of leadership and service to the real leadership and regions to the largest healthcare system. Now look what he's going to be tied to. Oshner Health is pleased to announce that Lauscha, president of the Saints and Pelicans, have been elected to serve as a board member for its 47 hospital healthcare system. Lauscha will begin his 4-year term effective January the 1st of 2023. The Oshner Health Board of Directors oversees the system's leadership and long-range strategy. That would explain a lot why this dude is never around when things are going wrong. How are these people, this is ridiculous. How is he a board director for 47 freaking hospitals and he came and he's sitting on top of the Saints and Pelicans team as the team president? How could he do both? The answer is he can't. That's why the Saints look terrible, and that's why the Pelicans are awful. This is the team president, the highest guy on the team, not named Gail Benson. He's the right hand to her. And this dude is overseeing hospital systems on the board, talking about leadership. What leadership this man has? He doesn't know anything about football or basketball. This dude is one of the greatest plants that I probably ever seen. How is he occupying these seats with no experience at all? How is he doing it? 40 said this is ridiculous. And this also explains the relationship between the Saints and the Pelicans and Oshna Hospital. It's not an easy break. Even if you decide to break away, how I'm going to break away, I'm the president and I'm also the president of your hospitals. That ties you together. So an easy break is not easy to do because we tied at the hip now. So this is a little game for y'all out there just to make it on. Y'all can read the whole rest of the crap.
So are you saying we stuck with more injuries to come?
This man went to Jesuit too.
Wow.
He a Jesuit. And then on top of that, and he went to Loyola too. All right. So all
the way hometown, huh?
Yeah, he all the way here, man. But anyway, yeah. But the thing is, it's just the whole catching point is Lauscha doesn't need to be the president of the Pelicans and the Saints. Let him go ahead on and go tend to them hospitals. But we don't need you overseeing this team because that's why he's never around. That's why David Griffin does what he wants. That's why Mickey Loomis can talk all ridiculous to the support base and act the way he do, because this guy here is supposed to be his boss. Checking him is never around. This is ridiculous. This is a clown. This is a clown show here. How could this man operate to be on the board of 47 hospitals and still be the president of both the Saints and the Pelicans, man? He can't do all of that. How's he doing it? This is ridiculous, man. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Sounds about white.
It's ridiculous, man. That's what I'm saying. You get down to the bottom of it. You start doing your research. You find what you need to find. But see, regardless of not, even though that's all what it is, that is still a positive for you, because now all you need to do is dig in and don't do nothing. Don't go to the games. Don't buy the bullshit. Don't do none of it. And dig in and say, I'm not giving you a damn thing. And they can have all this fluttery crap they want. But at the end of the day, like I said, for the Who Dat Nation, is when you say no, all $6+ billion of it grinds to a halt, because you are the blood of the machine. Without you, it cannot go. You are the energy. You are everything. Without your participation, it all grinds to a halt. So it's time for us to step in there. That's what it comes down to. They're not the behemoth. You are. We are as a collective. So once again, you know what you need to do, don't we? We know what we need to do. We'll stop it. This is a 5-win team. And 3 games from now, they're going to be 20 games behind their win. They win total. They're 5-22. In 3 games, they'll be 5-25. And those 2 games that we just watched, the Pacers and what was the other game? The Thunder. Well, what was the prior game? I think it was the Thunder. Those what was the game before the Pacers game? I forget. They all melt into each other.
The Kings.
Yeah,
the Kings. There you go. So DC, Lex, those are 2 winnable games you had. On this next group of games going to the end of the year was the Kings, who the Pelicans usually beat, and the Pacers, who they could have beat tonight.
There you go, lying again.
Yeah.
I'm saying they usually beat the Sacramento Kings. They had their number. But these are the closest winnable games that you would have.
Different year, Q.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. You're right.
We don't have nobody number this year. As long as Willie Green is the coach, no games are winnable. They win by luck.
This Dennis Lauscha dude is busier than the president, dude. How this man sit on a board as a director or whatever he was of 47 hospital systems? 47 hospitals. They are a monopoly. It's a behemoth that they are. They got government money because a lot of shady shit they did from the past. I keep telling y'all, you need to look them up. But he is sitting on top of a board that busy and sitting on top of the Pelicans and the Saints, and both the teams are failing. And then you look at the questionable relationship, the partnership here where the injuries are mounting. That makes no sense at all, man. None of this is right. But that's what's up to you, baby. It's up to you. Hey, man, I did a show on that on Q with Big Q on Patreon, man. Real good when I dropped some gems. I showed some videos and stuff with some interesting points on that whole little topic, man. Of course, we ain't talk about it here, but it's a lot of game that's on Q with Big Q on that thing, man. I was able to dig up. But yeah, this is just crazy, man, how all of this is going. This is very weird. But in the end, like I said, a change has got to happen because you can't expect the who that. These people got 5 damn wins right now. 5 wins. 5 wins. And then and Willie talking about getting his people back. I mean, dude, who you gonna get back? Superman, his son, his dog. Who the hell you gonna get back that's gonna help you climb out a 20+ hole?
Xanos.
And some of those games they really could have won. Like you're talking about the Pelicans could have been in double digits and wins off coaching alone if you had a good coach.
But that's
the crazy thing about all of this is that I'm not saying that it would be a winning record, but it would be way better than 5 wins.
But how do you because this the logic. I don't think that though the 2 winnable games that I picked over the schedule was the Kings in this matchup tonight. All those other matches against Houston, Denver, and these are home. These supposed to be good. Yeah, they got some tough New York. They got some tough games coming up going into the end of the year. They're gonna be at least 20 games out. DC, how do you come back from even if you get Zion back at the start of the year? How do you come back from 20 games, bro? 20 games down.
Ain't no coming back. The only way you could possibly, if like everybody got to come back and you got to get rid of Willie Green. That would be the only way if it could possibly happen. But it's almost just about in the realm of impossibility. The more you start looking at it statistically, I know for a while we were saying we would have to be like 44-20. 45-20, that number's grown, so it's probably closer to what, like almost 50-15 or something. You know what I'm saying? The numbers are crazy. What you got to do to try to get, you would have to get to at least 40-something wins. I mean, come on, win the West. 30-something wins ain't gonna make it happen. You got to at least get to 40-something wins, and we're at 5-22. So you are severely running out of time. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the realm of pretty much almost impossible. But Willie Green being the coach, man, is gonna make it so it is impossible. You know what I'm saying? Zion coming back. You know, they call him Xanos. You say, what type of superhero? He got the power to snap his fingers and make everybody disappear, right?
Superhero Xanos is a villain. He ain't no. Thanos is a villain, DC. You tuning in the wrong energy, my brother.
He got superhero powers, don't he?
No, he's not a superhero anything.
Well, he would be a hero here. If Xanos came back and he snapped his fingers and he made the Pelicans organization disappear, and we got a new front office, he'd be a goddamn hero.
Okay, I agree with you on that, brother. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Okay.
So he got the power, man. That's pretty. That would be a miracle. That's the miracle I'm hoping for. Zion coming back, saying he wants to be here, but some changes have to be made.
I mean, 5 wins.
That's the power he got, and 5 wins. And look, and everything he's saying will be justified. But you know what he got to do, Q? What? He got to come back. He would have to be in shape, and he would have to have a stretch of maybe 15 to 20 games of playing pretty awesome. And we don't have to win. He just got to look good. Then he could be like, he could talk his talk.
Lord help us.
What else? Yeah. What if they can't save right now? That's the only thing that could save us. Like if they're trying their best to hold on to him. I don't think they want to trade Zion. I mean, it would be stupid to trade him right now, even if you wanted to. You can get them for him right now.
No, if you trade Zion, they might. That's an open field of fire.
There's no tickets. There's no ticket sales. It's a draw. There ain't no more goddamn hope. because they've been selling hope.
I mean,
selling
there was
tickets for
already
hope.
no hope because the way they run it, even when they do have with him on the team, and he
Well,
is
you gotta
playing, it
you gotta
still
tell
ain't
that to
good.
the people who brought season tickets. Lex, they believed that there was hope because they wouldn't have purchased season tickets if they didn't think so.
Well, what are their eyes telling them?
Well, I'm sure they're regretting their decision right now.
You know what I'm saying?
But as long
Like,
as you have
dude,
Zion and he's not
see,
severely injured or something,
and
you
the thing
always
is,
have the ability to sell
when
tickets.
he's
Is
playing,
what I'm saying.
they don't even use him correctly. You know what I'm saying?
All
That's
of
what's
this is
really
true.
sad.
This is true.
Uh
This is true.
just using them to put butts in the seats, man. That's awful.
Well, I mean, that's if their motive is to make money, there is a way where you can make money, put butts in the seats, and have a winning product. Matter of fact, if you have a winning
They don't
product,
really have
you'll
that
put
for
the
real.
ultimate amount of butts in the seats, and you'll make the ultimate amount
Exactly,
of money.
but they don't want
So,
to
how
put that
much money
money.
do they really want?
They don't want a lot because they still one of the brokest organizations in the league, right? That's what it said on Google.
I mean, the Pelicans got a certain amount of money. They try to keep it at a certain point of how much they want to make to stay profitable. And then the thing is, too, listen, it's the deals, DC. It's the deals too that they have with the state that they kind of work with the state and the city to have. Like if it was set up correctly and the Pelicans were making money because they have a winning product, which is how you make money, you got to win. Then they wouldn't need the sweetheart deals from the state and the city to not have to pay any rent on the Smoothie King Center and to get all the concession and the revenue. That's how they stay using that excuse like we're a small market team, so we need these caveats, these fringe benefits to be remaining to keep the team here to lock them in for long term. So whatever money the area gets off of it, if they get anything off, because they're getting something off of it. It ain't a lot. I mean, they skirt these deals. They making out like a fat cat. That's why they're not rare, and they usually try to keep up under the luxury because they won't top out. But the thing is, the Pelicans have spent a lot of money on players. We got 3 players that's making above 30 and nearly $30 million.
We in the luxury tax, and we're 5-22. Has that ever happened?
I don't think I remember anything like that.
The funny thing is they were never in a win now mode. When you have Willie at the helm, this is not a win now team because he's not a win now head coach. He never was.
Well, I mean,
like when have we really been confident about really getting somewhere with this team, even when everybody was available?
I thought Willie was a good coach before your real coach. I always thought that, like, he was a real good coach to have in place to kind of have for some younger guys to bring them up till you get an actual real disciplinarian in there, or a guy who's going to push him to a real high standard. He shouldn't have, but I saw it working as him being a bridge coach. Now, if you were trying to lock Willie down, what is this, year 4? Like, I don't know if I really expected this. I thought Willie was going to come, have one contract, and then we was going to get somebody else. That's kind of how I saw it. They were still trying to build things up, still trying to figure out who they want to be, still trying to figure out what they would want to do with Zion.
Instead of actually going all in, like, get the right coach.
Well, no. I'm saying when they got him, there was still influx of trying to figure out how they wanted to use Zion and what to put around him. But they believe they are in win now mode, though. Lex, I agree with you. Wait, hold up. I'm not saying they are. I'm saying they believe that they're in win now mode because
the devil's
the pocketbook say different.
You know what I'm saying?
They spending win now money.
No, they're mismanaging. That's what mismanaging means. That's what not making moves in a timely fashion. That's what that means.
All of these things are true, but in order to sell that dream to ownership, the ownership must believe that they're in win now mode to be spending all of that money, or else they would get the people out of the front office that are mismanaging. Right?
Is she looking at anything? You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of hard not to look now.
Oh
I'm
my
sure they
gosh.
not
I
selling
mean,
a lot of
is
popcorns.
the media like
The
look
nachos
at
ain't flying.
everything.
Nobody buying that jambalaya and what that
Look at the seats,
pasta they
man,
got in there?
during the games.
Buffalo
You don't
pasta.
see that junk?
Oh, I'm sure she see it.
Okay, so and that's matching the win now money that you're paying out?
No.
Okay, so she can't be that dumb, you know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, golly, I think a middle schooler, at least an elementary school student could see that.
I
don't know
think
about
that
that.
they've
You know what I'm
agreed to
saying?
look at it now as like I said, this is a lost season, meaning whatever happens this year, it don't mean anything. It's about next year. Regardless if they still continue to play like they competing and this or that, like
They not.
this year is over. Your best out is to get a at least top 8, top 5 draft pick
That ain't good.
and move forward with that. That is the best position for you right now. You get off of some of these
But not for
bloated
them.
contracts like CJ and BI. You try to turn that into something, or you turn that into something if you're competent. You should be able to turn it into something useful, and you continue to move forward. That has to be the way she's looking at it. And again, if that is how they're looking at it, well, I hate to break it to you, Willie Green ain't getting fired no time soon. Willie Green maybe get demoted or fired or whatever on the back half of the season. Maybe they give James Borrego a shot and see if he can be that next guy, or see what the team would actually look like when they can compete harder and it don't mean nothing and ain't gonna mess up their draft position. Who knows how they thinking? But if they're thinking like that, to me, it would make a lot of sense on why they're not firing Willie Green, why no heads ain't rolling or nothing. They're just setting themselves up for next year, and they still believe in the current front office and Pelicans vice president. They still believe in the bullshit he kicking, and they're gonna keep rolling this thing, get a draft pick, and we'll go at it again next year. And it was all because we had bad injury luck. You saw it. Dyson Daniels said we're cursed. He's right. But we're gonna do a seance next season. You know, we're gonna call a witch doctor in here and gonna get the energy off. We got a new draft pick coming, and Zion's healthy. He's in the best shape of his life. Guy, go get season tickets. Go get them. It's all setting up for the same shit. You know, other than that, why wouldn't they have fired Willie Green if they still serious about winning? I think ownership believed it was a win, now season, and that's what they kick into Miss Benson. But David Griffin always had his ulterior motives. I don't think he wanted it to be this bad. I don't think he intended for this, but he definitely wanted to try to finagle Willie Green up out of here some type of way. He can't really fire him because that would be how many coaches?
4 coaches in
So
6 years.
so the players have to step up and say they don't want Willie Green, right?
I don't think it. I think his time. I think he's in trouble.
His time is up.
I think
His time is up, but I'm just saying, like, it had to be the way it is. Like, Willie Green won 49 games last year, and we dealing with Miss Benson ownership, and they selling her on prices and tickets and wins, and we can do this because they want and all of that shit. But if Willie Green does what he does this year, they have to let him go. And David Griffin can use injuries as the excuse. It ain't gonna work on us.
That'll save him.
We don't own the team.
But that will save him for this year.
Exactly. And he gets
it won't
a chance.
save Willie.
It ain't saving Willie. But
it ain't
he gets
saving
the
Willie,
chance.
but it'll save him. Yeah, he gets
you
another
hire
chance.
another coach, right? You do whatever you do with the BI issue, whether you're able to trade him on you let CJ go or move along, right? If he does those things and he manages to get something decent for CJ and BI, or some type of way BI winds up back on the roster, which I think is very possible. then they get just injury luck. We running it back, and we got our new draft pick. He's going to be awesome, and all this bullshit all over again, as if they haven't learned anything. Because under the current leadership of the front office, we see what that is and where it gets you at its best. It gets you 49 wins, and when you reach the point of playing a level of real meaningful basketball, you get embarrassed. That's the best
This is
you gonna get out of this shit.
very bad.
Very, very bad. Like you gotta tear down some aspect of this. I don't believe in everybody's like, oh, just trade all your players and start over with the man. That shit to me is crazy because how long has Toronto been rebuilding since Kawhi left and them dudes left? You got them like, okay, well, they still ain't figured it out. They got a championship, but they clean house and they trying to rebuild. They still ain't figured it out. The Nets ain't they got that one playoff series, but what have they been after that? Look at all the rebuilding teams you go through them. The Blazers lost Dame. Like, what are they going to be? They got Scoot Henderson. They thought he was going to be the guy. That shit ain't working. You got OKC, who's a positive, right? I mean, what's another rebuilding team we got? Utah might figure it out because they got Danny Ainge.
What, at the same time as the Pelicans?
The Timberwolves?
No, I didn't say the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves actually rebuilt their team, and they actually did it right because they had fell off a cliff with they lost Jimmy Butler and they had Zach LaVine and they wound up trading him and they still had Big Cat. They wasn't really winning nothing, and they found a way to get Anthony Edwards, and they're reinvigorated. You know, they probably ain't having the best season this year, but I think they're still going to be. Too. Well, they traded. They did have.
They had Wiggins.
Yeah,
with Butler, and they moved.
Right, Wiggins. But that team they moved all those guys and got something for them, and you know they got what they got now. But my thing is when you tear everything down and you get rid of everybody, right? You're not guaranteed to be a winner like anytime soon. It took Cleveland a long time before they got something going after LeBron.
Who was the GM there?
Well, David Griffin was till they got his ass up out of there.
I just want to make sure.
You're absolutely right. But I'm just making the Wizards have been in hell forever trying to rebuild. Like rebuilding to me ain't no guarantee, man. It ain't no guarantee, man.
They got 3 number 1 draft picks in like within like 4 or 5 seasons or something like that.
Right. I'm all about if you're gonna trade a superstar, I gotta at least get somebody with superstar potential or something back. Or if you trade an all-star level player, I mean, if you trade multiple, I gotta at least get an all-star level. You gotta have something to build around, and I can't just guarantee that with a draft pick, even if they are, you know, that guy. Like you still need somebody there initially that's an all-star to take some of the pressure off them or to make it easier for them their rookie year before they can blossom. So I tear everything down and rebuild it. I don't think that's the best thing, but I think we should definitely get rid of our older guys and kind of refresh. But in a perfect world, I like to see that under a new front office.
Well, DC too. The more and I agree. I get what you're saying. This is what I think happens.
BI ain't worth $50 million, Don.
Well, this is the thing that I think happened. I'm gonna pass the Lex and we're gonna close out. I think the next shoe to fall will be Willie Green,
of course,
because it damn sure won't be the guy on the screen because that's how he set it up. He set it up that Willie Green be the next guy to fall because he knows. With winning this amount of games, the injury excuses, he's not a stupid man. He's very cunning. He's a kind man, but he's very cunning. So he places people around him to take the fall from him. He can't use Bryson because he just got there. Can't use Trajan because obviously Trajan is in Detroit now. Willie is the next guy to fall because the people gonna want blood. if he is going to remain here, and the guy that's going to fall on the sword will be Willie Green. Now, with that being said, that might be enough to be able to make this definitely going to be enough to make the team competitive, at least for the year, because the Pelicans will play smarter and faster. They'll have an identity relatively fast with Borrego taking over the team. He knows what he's doing. He knows this team. He has a decent offense. He knows he can run it with this team. And I think it'll flow better, and you'll see a lot better performance out of the Pelicans with Borrego than it would be Willie Green. That'll be an obvious move right there. Then as we get into the offseason, the pressure would have to be maintained by the faithful to demand that David Griffin is either removed as the team VP. It has to be. It just can't be just random fire David Griffin. You got to be able to also issue solutions. These people don't think like you do. The way they think is they think of in terms of money first, but when the money's not there, then they say, well, what's going on? What's happening with the people? Then you have to then give a list of solutions or demands, rather, depending on what power side you're standing on or what angle or platform you're standing on, then that you give them. Not just fire this guy. They know that you don't like him and you want to fire. You have to then provide solutions, smart solutions outside of firing them. Who will be this? And then, that type of stuff. That's what you email them. That's what you leave on the voice messages when you call down there to their offices. That's what you do. That's what you flood them with that type of stuff. Not just with fire this guy because they hear all that, but give the solution along with it. Put the idea out there is what I'm saying, because that's the only way you're going to get out of here. Because as you see, Gail doesn't pay attention until you get pissed off. Dennis Lauscha just showed y'all guys. I don't think anybody knew that. I don't think anybody knew that shit. That Dennis Lauscha is connected as a director of on the board of directors for the Ashna Hospital 47 hospital system. You can't possibly do all these jobs. He can't possibly do that. And that's why he's failing as the president. It got to be a demand for him to be replaced as the president. That's a big move in its own right. And you get a competent president here, he will evaluate Griffin and this team and bring respectability. Also, there needs to be options as far as that is concerned. See, this is how they think. You have to be able to provide the options commonsensically. So that's the step. So Lex, DC, on that last thing on that, then we'll get on out of there. Lex, what you think about all that?
Absolutely nothing. Say it
Lex,
again. Ah! You know what I'm saying? Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, we've been talking about it, man. This is tiring. All this stuff, man. I know you said, like, if Griffin set all this up, for Green to be the fall guy, but reality of it is, dude, fourth coach. I mean, how can that not be on the surface? And I think that really that's what the holdup is that, he's trying to build a case where that's not on the minds. Like, hey, this is the fourth coach in your regime since you've been here. And, in order to build it up, to get it more so away from that narrative to, hey, Willie Green's just not that guy. I feel like that's what's going on. That's why he has not been fired yet. And really, that's the only reason why he hasn't, because there's still a direct connection between Green with Griff. You know what I'm saying? There's still a direct connection. And, I guess the longer that Willie is kind of like in limbo in this type of situation, it pins more so, hey, you can't cut it. You can't get it done. But I really don't want, any of the supporters, let alone the organization, to forget, hey, no, they're tied in together. So what happens to the one guy needs to happen to the other. We're not going to let you forget. I don't care how much time that you take, to get the affiliation of Green not being with Griff. No, dude, this is your baby right here. And because really, I feel like once you bring in someone else, I think someone else needs to make the decisions as far as moving players around, getting players up in here and things like that. I think, someone else needs to make those decisions, but it cannot be Griff. And see, that's the thing that I'm concerned about is the fact that all this time is being taken up. You're still losing it if you still have these people here. And then if, like you said, DC, if you are waiting to get a top, draft pick, you know what I'm saying? That's still a bad situation. That's still a bad situation. And I'm thinking about the player. A brand new player, a top draft pick coming to this mess right here because you didn't get rid of the source. Like, this is the problem. And so if you're talking about, well, hey, the best bet is to get top draft picks, man, that's scary. Because if you still have this as the foundation, that's going to be a problem for these new draft picks. It's still not going to be a good situation for them. This organization, this front office lacks discipline, organization skills. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know the game. And you're bringing young players, young draft picks here. That's not a good situation. That's a recipe for disaster. Like, that's history repeating itself. Because you're basically, you still have the problems that created those problems and that are perpetuating those problems. It's a cycle. It's a constant cycle. And that's what the problem is. I mean, that's kind of scary. Like, when you think about, hey, let's just go on and tank and look towards the future. Man, the future is still looking rough. This guy, that guy right there, if he's still here, and that dumb coach, okay, who definitely doesn't know what he's doing, who's been playing sorry for like all 4 of these years because he has not grown, he's staying stagnant or he's gotten worse. And stagnant does not mean you're getting better. Stagnant means you are getting worse. So that's double the whammy right there. That's not a recipe for success. And that's why I keep, like, that question that you asked, DC, like, how can things get worse? Time, because you are keeping the same foundation, which is a horrible foundation, and it's affecting your future. That's not good. That goes way beyond, after Zion and Brandon and whoever you have here. If your foundation isn't strong, that affects everything. What is this? Who are those? Are those part of the team too, Big Q?
Damn, Lex.
Nah, that's just a partnership.
Okay.
The golf sports people.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
they got us an app that's pretty much just like Bally's, and people still have problems watching Pelicans. But that's
okay. What?
That app is not better than the Bally's app, DC.
I think it's a. I haven't had issues, but I hear a lot of people saying they have. But I didn't have a lot of issues with the Bally's app, but it did act up on me sometimes. I hear people say they got the antennas, the whole 9. They still can't see the damn game.
Probably should get a box though.
Terrible.
I don't understand. How hard is it to just make a free streaming service for everybody within many miles of the city?
All you gotta do is get a box. You hear me?
Yeah, Lex, I hear you, but like, we're in the internet age. Why does anybody have to go buy anything if they have a cell phone?
The thing is, all them subscriptions like Disney and Netflix and all that stuff, you won't need all that.
Exactly. So why you don't? What's going on with the Pels?
Huh? No, you can still get the games. You can still get the games. I mean, I'm just saying, because everything is all about having a subscription. Everybody want to be in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you break down, look, Amazon Prime, Max and look, Tubi or Hulu, or no, they went Disney if you get the plan, because they got it with ESPN. You get what I'm saying. There's a lot of subscriptions and stuff.
Right.
And it's rough, and that's why I'm saying if you get the box, you don't have to deal with that, and you can still get games. You can still watch the NFL games. Look, I know, like when the Pelicans play Memphis, Indiana, or Cleveland, I can't get those games because of the region that I'm in, which really stinks.
And they wondering why their viewership is down.
And the thing is, I have League Pass, and even with League Pass won't allow me to watch. I'm like, dog, I paid for this. You know what I'm saying? Man, my region shouldn't matter. I should be able to watch these games because I'm paying for them.
You got to get your VPN, Lex.
No, I don't want that junk. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to pay for
no chicken.
You know what? I didn't even hear myself say it.
Lex said no.
No, I don't want to do that. I suppose I just gave you the answer. I just told you I gave you the answer. Lex said no.
But
okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, like look, with the box, I can watch all that stuff. I don't have to worry about the region and junk. Like, shoot. And that makes a huge difference.
DC,
they are on regular TV, Molly.
All right, so this is the thing, man. We are tonight's game, man. The Pelicans went down.
Wait, before we get up out of here, just want to point out one thing. I hate to do this because I did it last show.
Go ahead, DC.
I extended it probably about 25 minutes, but I think we need to mention this. Did I talk about Hope last show?
Nah, go ahead. What you got to say, bro?
Hopium.
Girl named Hope a while back. But anyway, just put this up on the screen just to
go ahead and read it, DC.
According to Jake Fisher from the Stein line, who's supposed to be an NBA insider, right? The New Orleans Pelicans are allegedly, this could be possibly true or possibly very untrue information. We're hearing a lot of bullshit about the Pels because just maybe like 3 days ago, I heard them say they are not trading Zion. But according to this report that came out today, the New Orleans Pelicans are open to trading anyone on the roster except for Herb Jones, Yves Missi, and Trey Murphy. While naturally resistant to trade inquiries for the younger gems, Herb Jones, rookie Yves Missi, Trey Murphy III, word is that the Pelicans are essentially open to trade pitches for pretty much anyone on the roster apart from those three, amid a 5-21 start and more injury woes than Philadelphia. So, people who want us to blow it all up, I think they showed lining everything up, man. We had seen some people put in the chat. ESPN definitely is out to get us. They had a report or a live segment on the show. I think I had sent it to Q. I gotta find it. They had a live segment on the show where Woj was trying to trade Zion and BI for Q. Lex, when I tell you these fucking trades,
they're horrible. I see.
We wasn't getting shit. They're basically just telling us to give Zion and BI away for nothing. I mean, I've seen some trade talks out there about us getting Vooch, from Chicago, which, Vooch is a good player. I wouldn't be mad if we got him, but these trades, it ain't even that. It was like a first-round pick, and then the shit is protected. It's like a top 5 protected first-round pick for Zion. To send them to the Warriors, and they send us back, they trash. We getting Kevon Looney and shit. Like, man.
There's a big man.
He wore out. That dude ain't nearly who he used to be. He ain't half the player he used to be.
So, like,
He ain't half the player he used to be. Yeah,
I
I
don't
see
even.
these trash. These trash.
I mean, the thing
David
is
Griffin ain't
that-
that crazy. But go
you
ahead.
know
What you got to
what?
say?
But you know what? That's what Griff. That's the situation that Griff has put this organization in. It's like because right now it's like, oh shoot, you know, they in that win now mode, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's laughable. It's laughable. I mean, you waited too long to move pieces. You got attached on this family stuff. Instead of being dialed into winning, you were dialed into, oh, we're a family and you know, we just, you know, these guys are just good human beings. Man, dog, no. Nobody cares about family. That and why do you feel like you have to sell Pelican supporters family? Like, what are we doing? You're a basketball organization.
David Griffin might have been an orphan, Lex.
I don't care what he is. The thing is that the fact that he's trying to sell family and culture, it's like, no, you need to. I don't want you to sell anything. Winning needs to be the foundation. You need to put a winning team together.
Let me
Winning organization. The foundation needs to be winning. He talks about family more than anything. Nobody cares about family.
Lex, let me interject with this because this is very interesting because the article, this is Fisher. And usually he do pretty good work, but this is very interesting to me because number one, the players that they want to say we keeping is Herb, Yeeves, and Trey.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All role players.
So DeJounte Murray.
You get rid of DeJounte.
Just got him. He's on there. You just got him. And Jordan Hawkins, everybody. I mean, everybody except for
Herb, with Jordan Hawkins
and
back issue now, I could see that because it's saying he has a degenerative back issue. So his back will
Is that
over
the same
time.
as Ben Simmons?
I don't know if he has the same one as Ben Simmons, but over time his back will get worse. You know, that's what's being said. He can pretty much stop the progress of that, but it's dependent on him, you know, his lifestyle and how he does certain things. So do the Pels trust himself to have the medical team in place to ensure, you know, this dude doesn't have exactly.
And that's the thing.
As much as I like to keep Jordan Hawkins, like I guess from that standpoint, I can understand it. Don't like it. I think you should just get the right medical people. But you know, will they do that? They probably messed the man damn career.
I mean,
if we actually want to see him play, might be best for him.
I mean, this team, this whole experiment was created by David Griffin. I mean, he took Zion Williamson, he drafted these players, he assembled this team. We just got DeJounte Murray here. Now, I'm not saying that this article is true or otherwise. Of course, the Pelicans.
But they just had a conflicting article, like I said 3 days ago, about they're not trading Zion. Trying to trade BI, but CJ McCullough is up there and other people, but not Zion. So
but at some point you have to be able to assess what's going on. It's really interesting how much as David Griffin liked to talk, but he hadn't said a damn thing about what's going on with this team. I mean, he ain't pop up here and say anything about it. So, like I said about the article, I've heard a lot of rumorvilles, and this is usually when you hear rumorville talk start middle in December going into January because the trade deadline is what in early February. So this is the rumorville is right on time. It's right on time, late December into January of next year because the trade deadline is February, early February. So we're right on time with this foolishness that's going on. So anyway, man, let's your last parting thoughts on this, DC. I know you just said what you said. Lex, you won't talk about the I know you just said what you said about the team, and they did, but this is right, man. They are horrible, and it is definitely showing in this time for something to change and happen. That's what's got to happen. That's the bottom line. So let's get ready to kind of shake on out on this thing. But go ahead, Lex. I'll give you your final thoughts before we close out.
Go Pels.
All right. That's a
Well,
long
I
time.
could actually give my final thoughts because I ain't
Go
get to
ahead,
give
DC.
none. I
Go
was
ahead,
quoting some
DC.
news.
You always on final thought mode.
No, I
That's
ain't, man. You be ready to skip over me, you know.
that's not true. I said,
Legs what I'm about to say, goddamn legs.
DC, you fucking up
Lex
everything. What
is
you
a
talking about, DC?
professional speaker. So we know Lex gonna get ahead and cook, boy. You'll get up there, Big Q will
DC, you
give
been here cooking. DC, you been here
man,
cooking pineapples too,
Yeah.
girl. Come on.
Oh dang!
man,
You went
Big
to
Q,
find out. Look,
Big
Go
Q,
ahead,
I
DC.
thought
Big
you
Q
was
get up
going
here
upward with that.
and he start talking about Mr. Oshner and giving that breakdown. He give us a sermon.
I
He's
just
like, oh
show.
man, that was
Hey
good.
man.
And
Hey,
then Lex come
that
behind
was
him and he's like,
game.
hey, DC, what you got to say?
Nah,
You
that was
know,
game. I don't think anybody knew
hallelujah,
that.
amen.
I don't think anybody knew that about his
Pass the
connection with
collection plate.
Ashna.
Let's go home.
I don't think anybody knew he was a director on Ashna's board in the same position in a position high on their board.
No.
On their I don't think a lot of people knew that. But go ahead, DC. Go ahead with your thoughts.
But my thing is, man, nonetheless, as bleak as it looks with the Pels, I think all of this is good news because all of this going on with Zion getting traded, whether or not everybody get traded, I don't see how in the hell, if these reports are true, let's say Zion does want to get traded, right? If these reports are true, if the Pelicans have any form of IQ over 60, they would not make any big moves like far as Zion move until they get rid of David Griffin. To me, you say David Griffin is tied to Willie Green. That is the correct way a functional organization probably would do it. You know, you done had so many coaches, you got to get your ass up out of here. But I think this organization looks at him as the guy to come in and keep Zion happy. So if he's unable to do that one simple task, Zion has underperformed due to the money we've given him, has not lived up to expectations, and then you're shipping him out of town and all of the mock trades and stuff that are on the board for him. I think that would almost certainly have to cause David Griffin this job. And if they, like I said, had an IQ over 60, or at least 60, they would not let him facilitate the trade the same way they didn't let Dell Demps facilitate the AD trade. So, not terribly excited about losing Zion Williamson if these reports are true. But the one thing I can say, there is no way in hell you lose Zion and David Griffin is still here.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
No way in hell they're not going for that.
That's true.
That's a reset.
Exactly.
Total reset. If Zion goes, you go too.
And I bet, just like I said earlier in the show, if Zion and his camp are intelligent, he's got a new agency now. Maybe these people a little more on top of stuff with him than the previous people. I would almost like try to force that guy out. All the injury BS and bullshit we going through. David Griffin has messed up this dude's image a lot. Now he has not been getting on the court doing what he's supposed to do. I'm not gonna act like he have, but I don't think everything that goes on with Zion is completely his fault. Not everything, but if he was out there available and ready to play and doing all the right stuff, then we could say that. But we know he not. But every area outside of his control, where the front office was supposed to have things together, they've been fucking up. So if I was in his camp or his agency or people like that, I would be putting pressure on them to make some alterations to that contract. And then secondly, I would be trying to put in the word to get David Griffin the hell out the way. Like, Miss Benson, I like it here, but I don't trust this guy. Everything he told me has been a lie. Or whoever he can, maybe talking to Dennis Lauscha, whoever. But you know, once you start going over his head, like if you're supposed to have these conversations with David Griffin because we're not a competent organization where you can actually have them with your general manager, because our general manager just got there. And basically, our general manager is just going to take everything you say and go repeat it word for word. They probably got a tape recorder on Bryce. And then you just come back to David Griffin and they play the tape and they tell him what to do. He just got there. Don't feel comfortable talking to David Griffin. You got to go to the next step. All of that should be a knock on you as a person in position of power when the chain of command gets broke. And I would be doing that if I was a part of his team. And that could be why you hearing some of this stuff about the Pels are willing to trade. Maybe his agency is leaking some of that stuff. And they putting the pressure on the Pels. Well, if y'all don't clean this up, that, and the third, just cut me or trade me. Might have some pressure being applied to them right now. And usually when that happens, you're going to hear a lot of conflicting stories. Then there's the other caveat. I'll say this, and then we get out of here. Maybe this ain't got nothing to do with Zion at all. We got to remember, we have another disgruntled star on our team in Brandon Ingram, who signed to Clutch Sports. And Clutch Sports will do anything to humiliate you and your image. They play dirty. So maybe they could be having information about the whole other side of thing where it don't even apply to Brandon Ingram. All in an attempt to muddy up the image of the Pels, which is already in the toilet. But as you said, Lex, things can get worse with time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of this could be tied to a lot of reports we're hearing with Brandon Ingram. Maybe Clutch is just working overtime to throw a lot of stuff out there. But nonetheless, we have no idea how the Pels look at it or what they would do. We don't know just yet. But we do know one thing, as Big Q astutely pointed out, David Griffin ain't saying shit. So you know what that tells me? He's in quite the pickle.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure this shit out.
He does. I bet you he's stressed too behind
hell yeah.
doors.
Hell yeah, because all other times we had
pressure.
Remember we had trade rumors last year about BI for Scoot Henderson and Zion and all this shit. You remember that? David Griffin got out there and he said, BI knows we value him and we would trade him. This is part of how it goes. And, it's just one of those things. Yeah, guys are always mentioned in a trade and we may answer a phone call, but that doesn't mean anything. It's just part of the league and He ain't saying none of that shit.
No.
He ain't saying nothing. So he's in trouble. He know he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And I think his hands are tied on a lot of stuff he can do unless he comes with something of value. And like my man said, today is what, the 15th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trades are open for business.
Oh, shoot, a trade has already gone down.
Trade has already gone down, right? With the Warriors and Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder.
I almost think the Pels would have to do something. Even if they're not going to trade Brandon Ingram or Zion, they got to trade somebody else. They have to. They have to trade somebody, though. Lex, we can't pass this trade deadline and not make a trade. Hopefully we ain't got to wait all the way to February.
You know what? That according to any other organization, that may be true. But when it comes to something like this one, hey man, it's kind of hard to say because man, Griff be moving slow as molasses. You know what I'm saying? You ain't all of a sudden just gonna start moving with a purpose after years of not doing anything at all. I mean, because he's waited so long, and it's really gotten that bad where really the ball is not in his court. Like, dude, you either take these scraps. Basically, another GM can come in and be like, hey, you take these scraps or you don't get nothing at all. I feel like that's the position that he's in. Like, and that's why I was saying, like, he's not going to get top value for anything because of the position that he's put the Pelicans in. You're not going to get top value. That's why I was saying it's not the initial trade, but the trade after that, because you waited so long. You basically, you pinned yourself in a corner where you have no leverage. You don't have any leverage. You can't do anything. And it makes it hard to make moves. So, I mean, because he was thinking whatever he thought he was thinking, oh, no, we don't want that. We're looking for something else. All that bluffing that he was doing all off season, dog, you really in a corner now. You thought you had some type of leverage then to make a trade. It's getting worse. And as it gets closer to the deadline, it's like, shoot, dog, the pressure's on you.
Yeah, this is I don't think I don't know if a trade gets done. I think the biggest one was probably behind BI, and with him being hurt, that complicates it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think the greatest thing the Pelicans can do is fire Willie Green as soon as possible and establish an identity and try to salvage get some wins going and try to win as best they can. I also say they need to probably release one of these other players, probably see if they, I don't know where Alfred Payton at, but I would like the Alfred back on this team in the backup capacity.
Get Jamal Cain out of here, man.
Yeah, Jamal Cain can go.
Somewhere.
Yeah, Jamal Cain could go. We need to get Alfred
even
back.
If you got Javonte Green, I'm sure Javonte Green, they probably could trade him. Somebody may give him a low second round pick.
Yeah.
Right, because once
he's a good player, man.
He is.
But Green's gonna lose. Yeah, you're right. When JRE comes, listen, I'm just saying, man. Listen, we did the best thing they can do because we're not gonna talk about firing the VP during the season unless something hard.
No, you can't do that.
They're not going to do that. So the thing they can do right now to try to salvage some of the season is you can't have a team that 5 wins. The team sitting up here 5-21. They're probably going to be 5-29 by the end of December. You cannot march this guy into next year talking about the injuries. You don't have the injury excuse no more. You done wasted that. From the last 5 years of compounded injuries, you don't have that. So the best thing the Pelicans can do is to bring some sort of excitement back to the team is by firing the stumbling, bumbling coach that we have who has a stale message. He's a dead man walking. He doesn't have any balls. He's totally decapitated. You might as well get rid of the guy, get the next guy up who can establish an offensive identity for the team, and then the team becomes competitive again. Even if the Pelicans are losing games, as long as they're competitive, people can deal with that. That's the point. If you're in these games, you're losing by a point here or there. You see what I'm saying? But as long as you're competitive and competing and doing the right things that you need to do, most of the times, even if you're a little bit shorthanded, you'll beat these other teams. Some of these teams could be loaded and they might not come to play that game. You can get one from them. It happens all the time. So it's just the problem with the Pelicans is competitiveness. They are not competing every night. It's too much. It's too much. So you can't keep a 5-win coach into next year and the team is going to lose another 6 or 7 games. Start with Willie Green. He has to go. Then once we get through the season to see how it turns out under Borrego, then we can look at making decisions about what needs to happen at the VP level. Actually, the president level. We're talking about Griff. We need to get to the president level too. We need a real president of football or basketball operations, not just this other clown. So this is real spiel here. They really want to get to the meat and potatoes and turn this all the way around. Right now, we start with Willie Green. Willie Green must fall. Bottom line, he has to go down. He can't. This is not acceptable at any level. This team is not even competitive, man. They're not. So we're gonna get out on that, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the broadcast tonight, man. Please do us a service. Please feel free to hit the like button if you hadn't already hit it. Please feel free to share the show on social media, Facebook groups, wherever y'all socialize at with other Pelican community members. Also hit the notification bell for future content, and as well check out the links in the description section below for the link tree and stuff like that for merch and all this other stuff that we got going on that helps the community as well. So Lex, you want to give us a farewell here with the show?
Listen up, my brothers and my sisters.
I would usually let DC play his banjo, but Lex is better.
I want everyone to take the time out right now and to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
DC did a good job right there.
And do all of us a favor. Share the stream with your neighbor. Share the stream with your neighbor, with your family members.
You with your
Share
brethren.
it
With your brethren.
with your brethren, your brother from another mother. Okay? Do that. Do that from the depths of your diaphragm and let it lift out of your soul and your spirit and let it go and lift. Let us lift up each other. You hear me? Let us.
Shut the
Wakanda forever.
all she needs is a spear.
Monsieur.
All she needs is a spear to start kicking some ass. That's all she needs. All right, we're gonna get out on that, man. We appreciate y'all. Much love to the fam and go Pels. Peace.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. Remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That Too.